For as long as I can remember, getting a speedrun is something that's always been compelling for me, which is annoying honestly, because it's not like I needed another attribute that repels women. If you're unfamiliar, put simply, speedrunning is the process of completing a video game as quickly as possible, taking masochism to the extreme, and that's coming from a Tarkov player. These speedrunners will spend the majority of their time rerunning the same old Mario level like they're in their own version of Groundhog Day, only they're not allowed to shower. The plan at face value sounded simple. There has to be a few games out there with imperfect enough runs to give an inexperienced runner like myself a chance at gold. At this point, if I knew the journey I was about to undertake, I may have reconsidered everything and just stuck to lying in bed and wondering why no one wants to talk to me. But I set out to become a speedrunner, and there's no way I'm quitting until that's solidified. The first thing we need to do is find out what we're going to speedrun. To find our game, we make our way to speedrun.com, filtering for GameCube games with the lowest runs, figuring my childhood GameCube experience may kick in and give us the advantage we so desperately need. We needed something funny, exciting, interesting, and most importantly, doable within a reasonable amount of time. I've got shit to do, and that's when I spotted it. A force I can only describe as otherworldly, get it, diverted all of my attention towards that big old grin of his. Our opponent, Wojo42, current world record holder of Casper Spirit Dimensions, height 5'10", a GameCube enthusiast and not someone to underestimate. Luckily for us, we have a VOD of his entire run and he had a terrible ghost trial. I don't know what that means, but believe me, I soon will. You play as Casper, a boy who died of pneumonia because he played in the cold for too long, and no, I'm not making that up, that's legitimately the Casper origin story. We're on a mission to stop
Kibosh. Kibosh? Kibosh. 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 Kibosh.
Kibosh's knights.
Kibosh's wizards.
Kibosh.
Kibosh.
Kibosh invaded.
Kibosh!
as the last remaining ghost left, even though they describe everyone you meet as a ghost, even if they're humanoid, and Kabaush is a ghost himself. I mean, I don't really know, guys, it's hard to hold these guys accountable. They probably had a budget of like £8.40. Welcome to the mansion. Each door represents its own world, requiring you to complete each world one by one before eventually getting to the last door and fighting Kabaush. The first thing is working out how the fucking whack controls work. Honestly, it's like the left analog stick controls your view, left trigger sends you forward, Y sends you backwards, and holding right trigger and using the left analog stick controls your vertical and horizontal motion. For some reason, they just thought, fuck it, who needs the right analog stick? Let's just use the left one for everything. And I've got to say, it is very immersive because I truly felt like I was controlling a cold, dead child. The first thought I had was clipping out of the map to go straight through to the last door, but as I don't really know what I'm doing, that just resulted in boosting into walls and pausing a lot. I don't know, I've seen speedrunners do that before, but needless to say, there was no luck there, and we're going to have to do this legitimately, mostly, but we'll get into that later. Setting up the appropriate save file as lined out in the rules, we began stage 1. I decided I would run each stage individually until I beat Wojo's time in each respective world before attempting the run from the start. Stage 1 is simple. Speak to the knight, get belittled for your height, find the 5 pieces of armor, speak to the frog, kill the wizards, speak to the man in the stocks, find the 4 keys for this one lock, speak to the joker, find the gold, and then make your way to the big scary boss door. I tried desperately to glitch out of bounds, and considering how janky this game is, I couldn't for the life of me find any way to get out of the map. It's like the one thing the developers were adamant on is you were going to sit through their entire shitty game. I watched Wojo's route for the first world and got to work. Our first and only known glitch in the entire game is what I'm going to coin as the help text pop-up bug. You see, to the untrained eye, I just finished this first section normally. However, you missed something. When I entered, I grabbed this power-up which triggered this. If you can end a section with a help box showing, it will skip a good 10 to 20 seconds of dialogue at the end of the quest. After getting used to the controls, I was already finishing this section a few seconds faster than our arch enemy here.
Hello. You're a cute little ghost.
Our frog friend offers us a kiss, and after destroying the 10 towers and getting bukkake by wizards, something I was already quite used to from my real life, we were beginning to make a little bit of headway here. The next section was fairly straightforward: grin and bear another cutscene, kill the archers to collect the keys, and get the last one while trying to trigger the help box on this chest. It's worth noting that these help boxes are only activated the first time you interact with a new object, so once you've used it once, it can't be triggered again. This one is particularly annoying because if he happens to spawn close to it, you just have to wait until he's far away enough that you can kill him before triggering it. After collecting 10 pieces of gold for this bulgy jester, he gives us the last part of the key we need to open the door to our first boss. Any time now. Welcome to the Dragon Lair. Before we start this section, let's run over Casper's power pickups. We have Fire, Ice, and Charged. In a very original boss mechanic, you need to hit the Ice one with Fire, the Fire one with Ice, the Green one with Regular Blast, and the Blue one with a Charged Blast. This Blue one is the real tricky bastard, because if you run out of these, you need to just float around aimlessly until one decides to spawn. This is especially annoying because the hitboxes on these are as poor as the Ogre Grab from Sekiro, which according to this random guy on Reddit, are pretty bad. There's a lot that can go wrong on the dragons, making it the scariest section yet. They can spawn on you, making you go. The Ice one can hit you, causing you to ironically burn to death, and all in all, you might just break your controller from how irritating this entire boss is. After a good deal of failed attempts, it looks like we're about to complete this world for the first. Oh, and it's crashed. You know, I'm beginning to realise why there's only 2 completed runs of this game. Armour, Wizards, Archer, Bulgy Jester, Armour, Frogs, Wizards, and he spawned next to the chest, so we have to start again. I repeated this process more than I'd like to admit, but we finally completed this section with a healthy 30 seconds on Wojo's original time. It might not seem like much, but if you know anything about speedrunning, you'll know this is a pretty big deal. Feeling what I guess you could call satisfied, I made my way onto the next world. Welcome to the carnival. We need 2 parts of a key here to open up the boss of this stage. Our first colourful character may look like a man in an elephant suit, but don't be fooled, this is an elephant wearing a man. Also, this is a ghost apparently, I don't know, don't ask. For this section we're dodging clowns and collecting all 6 of these tokens to blow up this balloon with a cannon to get the first half of our key, before moving on to what would turn out to be one of our first biggest skips. This is the ghost trial.
I am Vlad.
Pretty simple, 3 different courses where you have to complete 3 laps through the floating hoops before the timer runs out. This bit surprised me to be honest, because our opponent Wojo here failed a very simple check, and honestly I'm disappointed.
If I manage to save time here, it's just purely off execution. There's like very little routing stuff you can end up doing. It's just flying through a bunch of rings and hoping you don't mess up.
You see, you have an allotted amount of time to complete this section in, as you can see below, but missing a ring only loses you 5 seconds. As long as you can still finish all 3 laps, skipping rings doesn't actually cause you to fail.
How? That surely should have bested you.
After a lot of experimenting, I gathered what seemed like the best areas to skip. In Race 1 it's these corner sections, as that's where the rings are most spread out. Race 2 it's basically the same strat again, timed perfectly should give you enough time to hit the last ring just before it hits 0, and Race 3 it's a very balls to the wall skip on the first lap and then completing the rest of it normally. The amount of time we saved here was insane. I don't know the exact amount as I'm reading this, but it should be on the screen right now. After smashing all 3, you'll get the second part of the ticket to open up the second boss here. Our elephant friend tells us the strong man went inside to face the boss, but no one's seen him since he went in. However, if we can find him, he might have some useful information. Oh, he's right there. I thought we were going to have to search for him for some reason, I don't know. This is one of my favourite characters of the whole game. I'm not even going to bother trying to explain why, I'm just going to play you an excerpt from his cutscene, and trust me, all will become clear.
Casper! I need help! You want to help me? Look, you need to be strong! You need to be tough! See, like this. Strong! Tough! Are you ready?
Yeah?
Navigating this hallway, we make our way to Mr. Jack-in-a-Box, another very original boss consisting of blowing up tents until the number hits 8, lighting all the cannons and getting one of the best cinematics you'll ever see. The section was never really a problem, honestly, it's pretty straightforward and I don't have a lot to say about it. However, I do like how Casper feels all sexy afterwards, and does what maybe could be considered the first dab. After putting in a fair few runs, we're now making incredible progress here, and I think it's time to move on. Thank fuck, I don't know how much longer of this guy's cutscenes I can take.
But be warned, Crank is waiting for you. He will stop you.
We're reunited with Wendy, who if you're unaware is played by Hilary Duff in the Casper movie. Crazy, I know. She opens this door for us, which just has me wondering like, why can't you open the last one for us right now? But I know not to question the game. We go in and we meet the generic scientist guy, who's genuinely just called like Egghead or something. I don't really remember much of what he says, but I love his responses just making no sense. Like the voice actor was just like ad-libbing.
Well, I can do that, but I'm not much of a mechanic. How do I turn it off?
Oh, extremely excellent, yes.
Anyway, we fly around this generator to power it, which toggles one half of the door, then we have to navigate this maze here to toggle the other. These pipes have to be flown through in the right order, or you have to go all the way back to the start. After getting through this door, you have to go on a rampage that would keep Mario up at night and destroy 5 of these pipes, LOL, before flipping this comically large lever to get one half of the key. Seriously, who was this designed for?
Very interesting.
Moving on, we head to our next level where multiple copyright laws were definitely broken. I can't tell if this is ripping off C-3PO or Awesomeo, and this is definitely just the Iron Giant. Here we destroy turrets and collect colour keys to repair our big friend over here. It doesn't bother explaining what the keys do, but I'll let them off because of how hilarious this fucker is. Exiting the level to save time, we can now head to the boss of this room, Generic Scientist number 2, and his big robot. Not the real name, but honestly it might as well have been. You don't really need to do much here. Spamming your regular attacks and not moving barely negates any of your health while taking a lot of his. I don't think I died to this guy once, not a brag, this game is just terribly designed. I did this a few times till I felt like I was confident when I noticed this towards the end of the hallway with the lever in it. If we saved this chest help box until later, I could use this to skip the scientist dialogue. But it raised a question. What would we do about the guy in the stocks for World 1 as we already used the chest dialogue for this guy? I backtracked and saw that there was a charged power up next to this fella. We could use that instead of the chest, but then what would we use for the first skip in the barred room? Hang on. Going through here already gives you a help box, so I could hold off getting the charge shot, pick it up here to save me using the chest, and then use the chest here to skip the scientist dialogue, saving us an extra 15 seconds or so. Joey Dope, you genius. I ran this section a few more times till I had it memorized. Staring at the lead here, I felt like we had enough of an advantage to start going for runs from the beginning without training and just winging the final world when we got there. After all, I've already seen Wojo run through it all, and I've got a solid 1 to 2 minutes of time here. Before we start though, let's give you a rundown of what we're up against. Psycho Mantis comes back and eradicates Hilary Duff, before hands down the best voice line of any game is uttered.
When Kibosh blasted her, I came here as fast as I could.
I just love how casually she said it, like she just didn't give a fuck about it. This sexy witch opens up the last door, allowing us to progress to the final world. First up, it's pirates. Honestly, there's not a lot to say, it's pretty self-explanatory. Grab the TNT, dodge the turrets, blow through the floor and make your way to the big pirate boss. Captain the ship, blast the things on the castle, enter the door, meet this chick, shoot the Death Eaters, navigate the maze again, fight Kabaush's first form and beat his second form, and then finally get cemented as the virgin you guys all know me for. It's time to rock this shit.
Whoa, yes, sir.
I already thought we were going to do it that first time, especially with the epic music and everything, but this help box didn't trigger, and I wanted to use this glitch that we found for the actual run. God, I should have just continued, but hey, here we are. I haven't mentioned it too much, but my game has been periodically crashing all through this experience. I thought about trying to fix it, but honestly, I thought it was more of an authentic way to play the game. Run 3 isn't Casper, it's FIFA, because I was getting tired of playing it and I thought trading out one broken game for another might be a nice way to take a break. Spoiler, it was not. Making it here for the first time, let's talk about the pirate boss briefly. First of all, did they create all of these names from AI? It genuinely seems like they just asked Microsoft Paperclip to come up with it. Hey, I see you're trying to create a boss, would you like some help? This guy is pretty easy, honestly, you just have to hit the barrels before they touch you to launch them back at him. Wojo had his own strat for this, but I much prefer flying straight into him and spamming A. Our third copyright claim here is the Death Eaters. Proved to be much harder than I was expecting, to be honest. You can't hit them for shit and they absolutely drain your health. Another promising run, completely buried. Okay, welcome back everybody to playing one of the worst games ever made. You play as Casper. This is one of the worst games ever made. Come back here. Oh, he's already gone. How does he travel so fast? Oh, and I have unlocked the Spirit Blast, which means we can't do the things and we have to restart at 9 minutes again. I've got a good feeling about this one. I didn't edit this in. This is the actual run that we do it in. I might edit it. I might just splice this whole run, fuck it. Beams in this house. Alright, now we get to see if this guy fucks us, okay? We need him next to the big old gem. The big old jewel, where is he? He can't be near the chest. He can't be near the chest, that fucks us hard. Because we can't get that shit yet. But there he is, right next to the chest. What a fucking prick. Oh, we don't want the key yet. Oh, we've got to restart. It's odd. At this point, you think I'd hate doing this. And yeah, part of me definitely did. I mean, just listen to a little bit of this. Come on then. How much time can we waste here before we just need to restart? Whoa, let's get a restart in the building. Because he's not... Hold on, let's start it again.
And 3 more parts to unlock the door.
Oh, shut up, you fucking idiot. I don't want to hear it. The bitches love a guy that glitches. Yeah, you know how many times I've heard this whole fucking spiel from this frog? You wouldn't believe it, man. You just wouldn't believe it. Just tell this is already not going well because that won't let me lock on to you. But before that, we need to help all of these stupid cunts and what they the reward. Oh, what have you got for going through all of this madness? The reward you get is the key to your definite death. It's ridiculous, man. And then this guy's got his dick out on us. Do you think that's cool? Is that PG? Is that what kids want these days? A fucking guy with his dick out. No, I don't think they do want that. I didn't do my splits, but we are beating the guy. It's like they've intentionally made the music like to make you fucking furious. Ooh, things might be okay. Things might be okay. No, they're not okay. Oh my god. I want to be free of Kibosh. However, another part of me craved it. I understood the allure of speedrunning. I progressed through this game, slowly becoming actually relatively good at it, completing a character transformation like a good TV show. I went from not knowing a thing about it to being able to traverse the entire thing in a fairly time-effective way from memory, and dare I say, I was actually starting to enjoy it. Whenever I breezed through the wizards or managed to pull off one of the few glitches, I felt a sense of relief that I didn't need to restart, and a sense of accomplishment like I'd qualified for a track and field event. As well as this, trying to find the quickest routes or other ways to abuse the game mechanics felt like a puzzle game in itself, which is handy because Casper is a game deeply lacking in any puzzles. Introspection aside, we weren't done, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to be crowned the king of Casper Spirit Dimensions. I want that shit on my tombstone. If you want a quick fucking Casper speedrunner strat that I found out, if you want to know the best strats, come to the Casper God. You have to get this health, you boost up here, and it gives you a little bit of a... shortcut. It's not big, but hey, every little helps, eh? Oh, he's in here. This is the first time making it to Kibosh, and the nerves were starting to get to me here. Oh man, can I do this? I've got to play it safe, I've got so much time to work with. We were on time to beat the run, and I was so close to being rid of this game. Like the other bosses, it's pretty simple. He can only be harmed when he's hovering over here, something I didn't know at the time, which is why you can just see me spamming him. Oh my god, I'm locked in a battle with a ghost! I'm locked in a battle with a ghost! You should be going to the middle, thank you. Oh my god, dudes. No way! No way! I've got to the next scene and I'm dead! No. Oh, that's so sad, man. That's so sad. I don't think I can do this. We'll try, but I think I fucked it. Come on. How was that so easy? This is it. We're at the final boss. The only thing to worry about is the death beam he has, which can basically one-shot you. You can use one of your spirit charges to go invincible for a few seconds, something I'm realizing now I have never mentioned, but it honestly doesn't come up much.
I will strike you down.
Ah, I fucked it. Ah, boys. Boys! Oh, shit. Oh, that's sad, man. That's sad. Hey, if this happens to be the one where we do it, it just crashed like 5 times in a row. Sometimes right at the start, sometimes not so much at the start. I mean, we're a minute ahead. Wait, that's one then. Oh. He's erasing me right now. What's he doing? He hasn't done this before. He's just constant bullshit. I'm gonna die. Fuck. He's beaming me. Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Only a fool shall test the boss.
Oh, we did it! We did it! Oh my god, I was so sure I was gonna die! Oh, we did it! I can stop playing Casper the Friendly Ghost! Holy shit. Holy shit.
So, what happened to Kabosh? He went to the dark, Casper. The dark? The dark, a dimension of eternal darkness. No ghost who entered the dark has ever returned.
And just like that, I've cemented my name in the Hall of Fame, surely to be remembered with the other greats, MLK, Gandhi, George Lucas. It's funny, I thought at this point I'd feel a bigger sense of achievement. I don't know how long I've been working on this, but it's been more hours than I'd like to admit. Sure, you can chalk it up to, well, getting the speedrun on Casper Spirit Dimensions is pretty meaningless, but it's no more meaningless than getting the speedrun on the 100-meter sprint, which a lot of people seem to really fucking care about. I think it's a little bit deeper than that, something I like to call the Scarelectrix paradox. If you had Scarelectrix as a kid, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You spend hours meticulously plotting out how your track is going to be. Maybe you prop part of it up with books so one track can go over another. Maybe you're rich as fuck and you have one of these bad boys. But once it's done and you're actually whizzing those cars around, it's nowhere near as fun as building the track. And I think that's similar with speedrunning. The enjoyment, quotation marks, comes from plotting your run and completing it. Once you've done it, you're just craving the feeling you had when you were working for it, so you tear it down and try again. If you've made it this far, I want one thing from you. And no, it's not liking or subscribing. I want Casper Spirit Dimensions to be the big speedrunning game. I want it up there with Mario, Zelda, and Portal, not only because that would be really fucking funny, but also because I'm desperate to see someone break this game, because God, I know it can be done, and I know you guys are the ones to do it. Bravo. Bra fucking oh.